Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody in. Basically, league starts here in about 30 minutes. I am still playing Totems. And if you are wondering why I have a Ranger, it's because we need a mule. Essentially what muling does is muling gives us this great tool where we can essentially go ahead and get a couple of the skill gems that we need. And so essentially what that does is it lets us get volley, which is the very important gem that we really need to get started, just because it's going to give us such a massive increase through the first 4 to 8 levels that it's essentially worth running up to 4, getting that gem and restarting. The other thing this does is it also gives us access to potentially another flask, so we can get a second Quicksilver flask, which is also very nice. So that's why we're going to start with Raider here. You don't have to do it this way. You can start purely as Inquisitor. But if you don't want to necessarily start as Inquisitor and you would rather have the volley, you can do what I'm going to do, which is basically Mule a Ranger. We're going to do the Medicine Chest quest. We're going to turn in, get the rewards, dump everything, and then reroll a new Templar. Welcome in. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Now is a fantastic time. The league doesn't start for another 30 minutes, but I am already logged in so I could get my Ranger Mule started. And then kind of what I have on my second monitor, just so y'all can kind of see, is I just had the Act 2 tree. Well, actually on my third monitor, but I have the Act 2 tree, and it just gives me a nice little pathway to, by that point, it won't be a big deal to go ahead and stop for a second and go ahead and look at everything else. And so, but yeah, so that's kind of what is going on. So basically, the path of building actually has multiple different totem trees in it. So you can play Shockwave, Arc, Divine Ire. There is Ice Spear Totems in there, which Ice Spear and Winter Orb you can basically use synonymously with each other. There's just a couple of different gem links. There's also Holy Flame Totem all in there. I'm probably going to run Holy Flame Totem until Arc, and then I'll transition from Arc over to Divine Ire. That's most likely what I'm going to use. Basically, I was debating between league starting this as Divine Ire or league starting this as Shockwave Totem, but since the trees for the other totem builds aren't very far off, I just kind of threw everything into the paste bin. So even if you aren't playing the exact same totem build as me, you can absolutely use the same paste bin. It's pretty well laid out, and it has it's all color coded. It's kind of fancy. So essentially what you do is you can just come over to skills here, and then you can just pick whichever. Oh, Eye of Winter, that was the other one. Eye of Winter, which can also be Winter Orb. But you can use either one of those. Arc is kind of an all-rounder. Shockwave Totem's kind of an all-rounder. Holy Flame Totem is kind of an all-rounder. Divine Ire is a bosser, but the reason I'm debating between Divine Ire and Shockwave is both of them are very aesthetically pleasing on the ears. They both have just wonderful sound effects, because Shockwave is going to give you shatters, and then Divine Ire has a really cool womp sound to it. But then there's, all the trees as well. The only thing is, if you are going Shockwave or a Lightning, I would look at the in-game trees before you finish all the pathing, because some of it's just a little bit different. Because like for lightning, for instance, we don't really want the crit stuff that we have in the main links. We don't need these crit nodes here. Just for instance, Shockwave is pathed a little bit differently. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, but you're free to use any of them. Kind of here's what you're looking for. Everything's pretty laid out. So it's pretty handy to follow along with, even if you're not playing the exact same thing. Yes, yes, yes. Ice Crash does have a very, very aesthetically pleasing sound to it as well. And so Ice Crash I used for a very, very long time. I don't think I've used it since it was like popular with face breakers, so it's been a minute. But I did really enjoy Ice Crash when I did play it last. It's been a while for me on the Ice Crash get, but it is a good skill. I think it's kind of gotten, unfortunately, ran out of town with some of the newer melee skills. Unfortunately. But because Mayhem's chaotic, that's the other reason I wanted to go Totems, is because Mayhem is going to be pure chaos. And Totems give you a lot of, like, a built-in evasion, because you can just kind of run around everywhere, which is really, really nice. I should also check. Yes, I'm on semi. Fantastic. That's another important thing. Make sure to bring your filter down if you've been playing and you have a higher filter on, because you're going to want to pick up early stuff that you might not normally pick up with Mayhem specifically. The other thing is uniques are going to probably be very prevalent if you're killing stuff, and going to be but it's going to be hard to get the uniques you want without trading. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's not that they'll necessarily be expensive, you just are going to probably have to trade for them. But yeah, any other questions, I'm super happy to answer, and we can kind of go over it all. But yeah, that's kind of the plan, is do the womp womp totem thing, because it's a great sound, especially when you just hear whoomp, 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 whoomp over and over, and then the boss is dead. Love that sound. Absolutely, absolutely love it. But yeah, this next 20 minutes or so is just kind of hanging out till the actual event gets started. And but it's a good time to answer questions and kind of chat with you guys and see how life is going. So I'll take it. Right on. Yeah, you can basically use the same tree as Shockwave for consecrated path totems. The thing with my variation to it, and kind of what I was banking on, is I wanted to run determination and purity of elements. So I wanted to be completely status immune. I wanted that pump to resistances, and I wanted something that would work well with a lot of armor. And these work really well in that realm. And then you actually get some pretty nice regen throughout the pathing and the ascendancy as well. So you get pretty decent regen. Most of totem survivability is your availability to physically avoid things. As especially compared to like a melee or a spell where you're going to be stuck in place for a moment, you don't really have that. You don't really have to be in anything's face, so you can even place things off screen and let them kill it for you, and then move up. You can play it as aggressively or as cautiously as you prefer to do, which is kind of cool with totems. That you get like you can kind of play it however you personally want to play them. But it's just a pretty solid. Oh, yeah, so there's this couple of ways that you can scale that as well. So the biggest one is really like once you get this guy right here, Primal Manifestation, because the totem's life scales with levels, it scales really, really well with keeping them like up and present. The other thing is like eventually, like later on in the tree, we're also going to get like these guys, which is just damage and placement speed. But you can also come down here and get these that are placement speed. And I think it has, oh no, it's just spells and attacks. These are all crit nodes. You can also get these two, which give them more life. If you're really worried about it or if they're having a hard time, basically you just pick up those two nodes right there. And that adds another 30% to life. And it also gives them some LA resistance and some physical damage reduction. And normally you're casting them so quick it doesn't matter. Because they're not like minions. You are going to be like placing totems fairly rapidly. In comparison to a lot of other things that kind of work the same way. But they're not necessarily permanent. They have a timer or like a duration attached to them. So you're normally going to recast them before they would die anyway. But if you're doing like, I'm trying to think of like the content where they would likely die. If you're doing like simulacrums and stuff, you would definitely want to pick up like these two nodes. And there's also like some survivability totem stuff down here somewhere. It used to be right here. They moved it to right here. Yeah, Ironwood. Ironwood's another one that you can always neck anoint. That gives you quite a bit as well. So that's a good neck anoint. That way you don't have to path like all the way down to it. And it gives you quite a bit of totem survivability. But that's really only if you're dealing with like pretty heavy delirium stuff. If you're just dealing with like normal like mapping or normal bossing for the most part, you're not going to have many issues. The things that like the totems die to, it's basically saving you a death, and you would much rather a totem die than you die. So it's like pretty easy to just recast them. But they're not like super weak by any stretch of the imagination. There's also a unique jewel that also increases their life quite a bit too, that you can always slot in. So there's a lot of ways to make them tankier if you need to. But I haven't played totems in a little while, to be fair. But I've played totems a lot in the past, and I've never really had a lot of like survivability issues with them. And like basically the plan is you beeline it, you grab these nodes, and then you get Ancestral Bound, and then you come and get these, and then we're going to come over here and get this life and Mind Over Matter, and then that makes things quite a bit easier from that standpoint going forward. I do recommend Mind Over Matter while leveling before you get auras, and then speccing out of it once you're running a bunch of auras, because then it's kind of worthless. But it's really nice early on. I've actually seen people that like just rush it straight here and get these nodes and this, and then come over and get the totem stuff. I think DPS is going to be a little more important for Mayhem, which is why I'm going this way. Because like early on, you're just going to die, right? In Mayhem, like it's just going to happen. And so I'm not too worried about the DPS. I'm more worried about, am I killing stuff that's on the screen so I don't die again, right? It is more my concern with Mayhem, especially early on. because that seems like the way, way, way bigger problem. But yeah, totem survivability is not that bad. There is parts of it that is bad, but for the most part, it's not. The other thing that's cool with totems, because you're actually placing them specifically in a location, is like where there is a ground interaction that you want to avoid. Like, for instance, Malachi, where he has those little like red dots on the ground, and if you step on them, you take a huge chunk of damage. You can actually place the totem there. It'll explode on the totem. The totem will normally still live. But even if it like one-shots the totem, you just place a new totem. And it saved you from taking all that damage. So it's kind of like you take it for what it is. The other big thing is you get a 5% of damage taken goes to the nearest totem to you overall as a mastery, which is really, really big. Because again, you can just recast them, which is really, really nice. It's really nice to have that ability. But yeah, they're just going to die, and it's okay. But if they die like constantly, it's a problem, and they shouldn't. But there are going to be specific things that will kill them for sure if you don't spec into it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, so we are going to be muling here in, it looks like 13 minutes or so. Going to mule the Ranger to get Volley, specifically in a second Quicksilver Flask. And then from there, we will swap over to an Inquisitor and start leveling up the actual build. But if you have any questions, now is a fantastic time. Or to check out the PoB. Absolutely fantastic time. Because we're kind of just sitting here on the beach waiting in limbo for the time being. At least we got some music going, so we can kind of chill and relax to get started. Always a plus. Always a plus. I like being early. And I wish they would do this on League Start, where you could like pre-log in like this. I think it would really help with server queues. Not sure why they don't do it that way. Maybe because it'd be too many people in this one zone. Maybe that's the reasoning. I'm not sure. That their server space just can't handle that many people in one particular zone on one particular server. But we're going to start with Burning Arrow. And I believe Pierce. I'm going to try not to use Pierce, because that is handy for Frostblades if we decide to level that way. And Burning Arrow on its own should be able to carry us through the medicine chest, hopefully. We'll have to see what we get in the off area, because it could be really rough. That's the thing with Mayhem, like some of it is just really rough, and you kind of just have to deal with that. Does it tell me what the alright, 10 minutes. So this first one's Beyond and Fizz's Lightning and Onslaught. Okay, so that's great for this zone, because Beyond does nothing. I'm essentially only planning on killing Hillock. So that's fantastic. So Beyond shouldn't trigger. And then I just had to stay out of range of Hillock, and I should be okay. Move speed might be a little bit of an issue, but that's all right. It's completely all right. So 10 minutes, and we will get started. But yeah. So in case you're just joining in, basically what you're seeing with the Ranger is that we're going to basically go to the medicine chest to get volley and a second quicksilver flask. Once we do that, then we are going to be swapping over to Inquisitor and doing the actual totem build. So it is going to be a little bit of a delay, but this will start here in about 9 minutes. And we're going to try to do this without using very many skill gems so we can kind of stash them all away for our other guy. The other thing is we also get to dump all these flasks so we can easily upgrade to medium, life, and mana flasks, which is also very, very nice. Not at all required. This is just if you want to have basically optimal gem setups is what this part is for. At least for starting out. Volley is very, very good for using frost blades early on, or not frost blades. Thinking of, because I'm playing a raider, I'm automatically thinking frost blades because it's really good on raider. Freezing pulse early on, and it's also very good on holy flame totem. And so that's why we're doing this, because we'll just kind of see whichever way we want to go. Holy flame totem normally, it like as soon as you get it at 4, it's useful, but it's not going to be like enough normally to kill stuff. So normally we'll be using like freezing pulse and frost bomb on spell cascade to kind of clear stuff out, and then we'll go into actually going into the totem stuff normally, like once we get the level 8 support gems, because there we're gonna get like added fire, which is really nice, and we'll also get added lightning, which both of those are pretty nice for the damage scaling itself, for the very, very early game of totems. But yeah, we got like 7 minutes, so if anybody has any questions, now is a great time to ask. I try to keep up with chat pretty well, but when it gets hairy, I may space for a minute or two. Just bear with me. Mayhem gets crazy. Luckily, this first one's going to be pretty easy. It's Onslaught and Beyond and Fizz's Lightning, which is not that bad compared to what it could be. We could easily get Delirium. We could easily get, what are they called? The Tormented Spirits. Like, those would be hell right off the bat. So, luckily we got fairly good mods, which is nice. So, killing Hillock should be easy. I'm not sure if the mods are dedicated to the zone, or if each zone is going to spread random mods. If each zone spreads random mods, you may have to spam zones, which is unfortunate, but it may be your best choice. To do that, you just hold control and then click on the entrance, and that will give you access to a brand new zone. If we do need to spam zones, it should be very easy to figure out pretty quickly here. But even if you normally don't use your map, you may use tab a lot more this league, just because you get to see the mods. And that does depend on how you approach the zone. Because certain mods, you're going to interact very differently. You may be just booking it through the zone if it's bad. Because if you get like Exiles, or if you get Tormented Spirits, just know it's 20 of them. So it's like a race to can I get to the end of this particular area as fast as humanly possible with killing as least amount of things as humanly possible and getting out. Now, I am not a racer. I want to be very, very clear about that. I'm not a racer. I will not be zooming through this whole thing. I will probably be taking it a little on the slow side. It just depends on the mod, though, because if we get a whole bunch of exiles or a whole bunch of tormented spirits, I might be zooming through this thing. We'll just kind of have to see. All right, we're getting there. Got about 4 minutes, and then we'll get started here. I know this screen is a little on the boring side, but it'll pick up pretty quickly. The other thing you may notice is that I put my default attack here. The reason behind that is as soon as I suck at the gem from this dying exile, after I kill this little zombie, it defaults the attack to right here. And that way I don't have to change this once I get going. I also have my left click to move only. It just helps, makes things a little bit smoother as far as you're starting. You don't have to be perfect, but like little optimizations like that do save quite a bit of time. Even if you aren't a racer, which is very handy. But yeah, we got a couple of minutes here. And then it'll get started off with our mule. Then we'll re-roll for a Templar. Once we do that, I'll actually leave this character alive probably, just in case, you know, something doesn't work out for whatever reason, or I wouldn't delete your mule in this particular league. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. I chose Ranger. You can also pick Scion. Both work just fine. I just prefer Ranger. Shadow's actually my favorite mule start. But it doesn't quite have what I want. I want things that are Ranger, Scion exclusive, and I really don't like Spectral Throw early. I think Spectral Throw is fine late, but I don't like it early. I think it's just because the attack speed is so low. I think is why I don't like it early. Some people are really good at killing Hillock with Scion. I'm just not for me. Well, it's not Hillock that's actually the problem. It's the ice guy and the coast that's the actual issue. All right, 1 minute. We're almost there. Seconds. It's like this game would be amazing if it had the Unreal guy reading out the yellow text. That would be fantastic. 10 seconds. All right. And so if you just kind of follow the coast over here, you can normally avoid most of the monsters. And we're going to pick up Pierce, but we're not going to equip it because it just lowers our damage, which does nothing for Hillock. And we don't want to be bringing on Beyond at all. And normally you do use Pierce with Burning Air. It's very good. Well, yeah, move speed's a little bit of an issue. There we go. And I'm gonna pick up all that just so I can vendor it for scrolls. And we're not even gonna talk to Tarkly, we're just gonna keep going and then we'll do everything at the end. Okay, we got Harbies, Crit, and Onslaught. So we're just gonna kind of want to get through this as quick as possible. Try not to kill anything. There's so many Harbies. Oh, did I not? Oh, that's not good. I took the wrong path. That's normally the right path, but I took the wrong path. And if this kind of gameplay doesn't look exciting for you, like the running for your life stuff, and just trying to make it to the end, this may not be the league for you. Because you can't kill a lot of this stuff at this point. So you just kind of had to make the best of it that you can. Maybe. No. It also helps if you know the layouts. I'm not the best at that. There are some people that are very, very good at layouts, though. Specifically, it's normally like the racing guys. They normally really, really know the layouts. Okay, we're just trying to get to the waypoint, and then we're at happy camper mode there. Okay, we got to the waypoint. I guess we'll go ahead and tab to see what kind of madness this next one is. Okay, Rogue Exiles. Oh gosh. I may try to kill a little here. Oh, are we gonna get lucky and be able to? Arch Nemesis definitely makes this so much scarier. I'm locked. And that's going to be a thing that just kind of happens with Mayhem. You can either go really, really slow, or if you try to go fast, just know it can get very, very spicy. Okay, we're gonna have to use Pierce, unfortunately. Just so we can cut through. There being so many of them. Okay. More stuff to vendor. guess I can get that little bit of life. Doesn't help a lot, but it'll help a little bit. All right. Sweet, we baited him out. There we are. And then we can just go back to character selection here. And then, why is it saying delirium everywhere? Is that running simultaneously with this? Mayhem? Interesting. Volley is the one we want. And we can talk to little Tarkly here. And we can go ahead and get Frostblades. And then we're just gonna dump all this real quick, and that's just so I have a little bit of something to show for my extra work, and I can get a little more Scrolls of Wisdom. Join, and then we're gonna play a Templar. And then off to Templar. Come on, there we go. Now, Ice Hammer is a very different story. It is absolutely worth using. I think you get Ruthless here. Ruthless is, oh no, it's Elemental Proliferation. Elemental Proliferation isn't worth using, because we don't care if it proliferates. Oh, they are all different. Interesting. Interesting. So you may have to control swap if you get a bad one. The nice thing is that even though the Templar is much slower than the Raider, naturally, the cold does reduce Hillock a little bit, so it's not terrible. And you kind of just want to run in a circle if you're meleeing him. Unless he, of course, breaks the freeze, then, you know, he can smack you in the face, but it is what it is. All right. So we want to go ahead and grab this. And this guy should have... Oh, do we only get Frostbolt? That's perfectly fine. Frostbolt will work. Spells just typically scale better with worse gear than non-spells do. What do we got here? Harby. Okay, so this one is the same. So again, we're just going to kind of run through this. We're just really concerned about the waypoint, nothing else. because we'll get our levels eventually, even if we don't get them right now. And that's just part of Mayhem. All right, let's see what we got here. Delirium. Okay, this is a good one to actually get some killing in. Because the reason why I do it in Delirium is because I can easily not do the Delirium mirror, if that makes sense. And so it makes it where you can kind of just... I don't have a high... I'm not high enough level yet to do that. Okay. Oh. Yeah, rip. Man, that initial charge with the extra fizz, it hurts. I'm trying to kill these before hitting the enrage, just because trying to make my life as easy as humanly possible here. There we go, there's... I think I'm still missing one, yeah. Oh. Yeah, locked up again. Guess I can go ahead and get my levels here. Well, we know part of this is safe. Okay, then we need to go this way. Maybe we can avoid most of those rows, which would be fantastic. Oh, that was a nice little spot. All right. Here we are. Oh, more rows. Okay, we're just going. I'm tired of killing rows. Hopefully I won't regret this. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Sweet. Okay, so what do we got here? Beyond. So we want to try to not kill as much stuff, which makes that little bit of time spent leveling up a little bit better. We're still going to have to kill stuff in here just because we don't have cold rest yet, and these things can really easily like freeze lock you in place, and you definitely don't want that. We just want to try to keep our beyond pools small. And later we're going to be like purposely juicing up the beyond, but this early on, it's scary. And I overdid it. Ow. Oh no. That's what we don't want to happen. That's alright. We got a lot of this stuff cleared out, so it should be much easier. So maybe I can go just straight this way to it. No. All right. Small victories in Mayhem, guys. Small victories are what matter. What is this? Crit strong boxes. Extra is chaos. That's scary this early. That's useful. I would not recommend engaging most of these league mechanics until either you are a little over leveled for the zone, or if you are doing really good DPS. Like I'm doing okay DPS, not really good DPS. That's why I'm kind of just avoiding it. And a lot of these like strong boxes can just kill you, even though you do get really good rewards from them sometimes. But sometimes it's better just to be safe early on. Okay. No. Jeez. It's crazy how that one mod makes it such a big difference. Man, Havoc is going. But I'm also a little bit slower because of the, well, because I'm not Havoc, and because of getting the volley, which I'm not even using at this point. Mayhem, I want to say it's like, maybe it's like Act 4, Act 5, when Mayhem starts to be like quite a bit of fun. All right, that is down, so we're making progress. And again, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, feel free to post them. We definitely aren't using Glacial Hammer anymore, and now we have a movement skill, which is fantastic. And then, yeah, I want my skill point. Okay, we're just gonna vendor most of this. I'm gonna check these boots just in case. They're not horrible. Helmet? No. Okay. So, we'll go ahead and equip those boots. Then we need to do our... I'm gonna go ahead and backtrack now since I stopped, and go ahead and do our medicine chest and get our Quicksilver, which will also speed us up quite a bit, which will be wonderful. Extra proj is kind of nasty early. Whoa. Oh no. This is absolutely terrifying. Okay, now I got it. Now I got it. There we go. Oh, sweet. Dropped a portal scroll. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Thank you. And then we'll go ahead and move Holy Flame Totem over to that. Actually, I think I'd rather have that at this particular moment. The reason cold skills are specifically good early on, as you can tell, there's a lot of attack and cast speed increases that you're going to face. And cold skills just help you deal with that in a reasonable way that isn't nearly as terrifying. Oh. Get me out of here. Yay, bridge. Please don't dead end. Frostblink is also really underrated as a movement skill because the chilling that it applies is also extremely effective. Okay, this zone is going to be scary because it's going to be a billion harbingers. And so we're just going to kind of zoom through. Oh, and it looks like added proj too. No, slow totem's bad. I'm gonna actually do a science thing real quick here. I'm gonna go ahead and test to see if it is locked to the zone or if we get new rolls. We still got harbingers and 2 extra proj, so maybe we don't have to zone. Plop it. Goodness gracious, though. No, don't die, don't die, don't die. Thank you. Oh, I'm out of Quicksilver now, though. This got a lot scarier very quickly. But we're almost at the end. Hopefully we can make it. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Yay, we made it. Oh, shrines are nice. Shrines and breaches. Interesting. Oh. Yeah, that one didn't look super promising. The other thing is, like, even in zones like this where you may normally not get the waypoint, I would recommend picking up all the waypoints in Mayhem because it is far more scarier than normal is. And especially if you're not used to racing, like I'm definitely not. I'm not a super slow player, but I'm definitely not a I'm definitely not in the racer category. And to them, I probably do look slow. But if, but on that front, it's like you just kind of go and hope for the best on these bad ones, and then when you have good ones, just try to make it through. And kill as much stuff as you do and catch up levels if you need to. Like here, I'm probably gonna need to catch up levels. I haven't been paying too much. Oh, I'm actually leveled appropriately. That's nice. So because we have the gem slot, I'm gonna go ahead and go back and get added fire because that is a nice damage increase for Brutus specifically. Oh, no. I'm level 6. I do need to pick up some levels. Well, hopefully this is a good zone for it. Actually, not too bad. The Rogue Exiles could absolutely eat my lunch, but it could also be perfectly okay. You just kind of don't know till you encounter them. Yeah. That one ate my lunch. Oh. The good news with Rogue Exiles is even though they can be very tough early on, they normally drop quite a bit of loot, which is big. Oh, that's not what we want to see. I can't remember exactly what that one does, but I know it's rough. There's one. And this is why totems are good, especially once we get full totems going, is you get so much aggro off of you. It's really nice. Oh. Come on, kill chatters, kill chatters, kill chatters. Phew. Alright. Some of this stuff's gonna be very welcome additions. Okay, so luckily we have some scrolls. So we'll go ahead and need 8 for that. Need 8 for that. Am I gonna need level 8 for everything? Haha. Alright, get some stat boost. That's a plus. That's a big plus. Oh. Oh, that guy's no fun. And a lot of these guys aren't bad, like later on. That is bad. Chaos is very bad early on. Because you essentially have no way of mitigating it whatsoever, and I got double Chaos. Yeah, that's a bad combination. That's alright. We'll get through it. See if we can't bait one of these guys out. If you can deal with these one at a time, you're normally going to be okay, even early on. But trying to deal with multiple at a time is going to be very, very rough. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. But yeah, if you have never played Mayhem before, it gets nuts quickly. Oh, that's not good. Alright. Well, once we hit level 8 here, we're going to have quite a few upgrades, which will be very, very nice. Welcome in, for those of y'all that have started watching as I'm going through this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will get to it. As long as it's not too crazy, I'll normally get to it right away. If it's crazy on screen, it may take me a second, but I'll get to you. But Mayhem is, it's something else. Well, as you can see, like, kind of why totems are good for this is because you can just bait a lot of the taunts and a lot of the damage out with it. And especially like with exiles and stuff. You can get a lot of DPS on them with not even being on the screen, which is very, very helpful. Oh, he's on me. And it might not be like the most exciting play style, but it is fairly safe. Not 100% safe by any means, but maybe I can get him stuck on blades or something. No, take too long. Oh, too fast, too fast. No. At least I start here. Okay, let's go ahead and get some life nodes and go ahead and put on, let's check boots in case we get move speed. Nope. Oh, he's back. Maybe we can ditch him with the totem. Sometimes totem ditching works, and when it does, it's glorious. Nope, not doing that. Yay, ditched him with the totem. Oh, ice bad. All right, let's see what they have in store for me on this one. Strong boxes, Mayhem on hit, and they take less damage. Fantastic. Man, the less damage taken is very significant without having like +1 weapons and such. Very, very significant. Okay, 9. We're getting there. And even though this one isn't horrible, I basically don't want to stay killing stuff in here any longer than I have to. So I want to just hit 10 kind of and go on about my merry way if at all possible. And kind of what we're doing here is just trying to get a little damage out, but mainly just trying to kind of stay safe as much as possible. Sadly, with the Mayhems, we're getting more bleeds. look like we're gonna get 10. It's not worth backtracking to get 10. It would have been nice if we got 10, but not necessary at all. So we're almost to DPS nodes and second totem. Once we get that is kind of when it starts really taking off. You'll see a pretty significant increase once you get the second totem. I normally get the DPS nodes first, then I get the second totem. Just because getting the DPS nodes really enhances like how fast you kill stuff. I don't want to share it with you. I definitely don't want you to embrace me. Is it just me, or does anyone else think Brutus gets like a little rapey? Like just a little rapey. And I really like the Brutus changes. Way more interesting of a fight than it used to be. Much more in the style of like Diablo 2 or Diablo 1 Butcher, because it's Diablo 1 that had the Butcher in it. Where it's just like, oh, and of course he takes less damage, because that's what I always wanted. If I could pick a mod for the Butcher, it would be make the fight take longer. Oh, and we don't have any scrolls. We may die here, just because I'm out of mana flask. Yeah. It happens. It happens. It happens. Oh no. And basically, since mana was such an issue, I'm trying to just kill him with the totems, because they are a lot easier on the mana this early on when he's this freaking tanky. But he's not really taking a lot of damage doing it that way. Ugh. No. But yeah, Mayhem's very interesting as far as events go, because it's essentially like a... oh, we're out of mana again. Back to totem strategy. It's essentially a... It's not very fun until it is League. And normally around like Act 5, 6, it becomes very fun. Up until then, it can be very, very frustrating. If you aren't enjoying it, like if you're trying out Mayhem and you've never done Mayhem before or whatever, just know that you can absolutely do the Delirium Everywhere and the Delve event. I will most likely not be doing Delirium Everywhere. I will most likely be doing this and Delve, just because this is pure chaos, which I'm kind of about. And I really like Endless Delve. Like, I wouldn't mind being able to skip the main campaign and just do Delve. I think Endless Delve is a really cool mechanic. It's the most fun of all the Endless to me. I know some people really like Endless Heist, but I was not the biggest fan. Now, I didn't play it after they did the... I don't think I played it after they did the changes to it. But it's just not... Like, I can do Heist, and I've done Heist more recently, but it's just not super fun to me, especially for a lot of time, where Delve has enough variety, and it's kind of a simplistic... it's a simplistic but interesting... like repetitive mechanism. Oh, totem. Jesus. I'm just gonna do as much damage as I can, and yeah. This is a very different variation to boss rush than the normal. As you can probably tell, like, as you get significantly more damage and as you get better gearing, etc., it's not as painful as the start has been. For me specifically, like, this has been pretty rough, but it's just because we haven't really got any upgrade gear, and it's like a turbo league start, right? It's like significantly harder than a normal league start. This is why I also don't really recommend hardcore unless you've done hardcore Mayhem before. For this, just because it gets spicy very quickly. I think we're just gonna take the L and get more mana again. I think that's the strategy, or else I'm gonna spend all day in here. You should be in here somewhere. Come on. Just die. Thank you. Okay, Shaper's down. Wow. Would not have thinking Brutus would have took so long. Okay, let's get flasks and sell some of this stuff off. Let's identify that, because that could be big. Glad I did. Whew. Another small, and we got 3 there. Okay, small flask upgrade. All right. Now, what do we got here? Tormented. Okay, so Tormented is the one that you really, especially early on, you really just want to get through the zone as quick as possible. Sometimes that does not work out though. But Tormented can get very scary very quickly. Okay. Because, like, certain things hasted are just omega scary. No. Rip. Almost made it. Almost made it. That was very unfortunate. Let's try going this way since I got kind of things clogged up back there. No. Okay, I guess we're gonna try taking this very slowly, which is everything against what my gut instinct tells me. That's another less damage taken. I really don't like that moderately. Jesus. Okay, let's try resetting this. It's still the same mods, but maybe I get a little bit better pathing. So much density, man. No. Ah. Okay, so I had to go up the top here. is the actual path forward. Okay. Oh. Large mana flask is nice. Okay, I have to try to figure out how to avoid that pack. Because that pack is too much. Oh no. I was trying to go the wrong corner too. Okay, okay, out of that one. What does this have? Harbingers, okay. Go and grab that. Okay. Holy moly. Tormented Spirits, multi-proj, and extra damage. Fantastic. Oh my god. That guy's basically unkillable. Yeah. We're just gonna have to restart. That has so many rares on it. Oh no. Okay. So now we can get Arc Totem. Can't use it yet. Fantastic. keep these guys. Let's see if we can buy better flasks, because if we can buy level 12 flasks, that would be very helpful. No, but I can buy level 6 mana, which is probably worth it at this point. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and reset this back instance, just because that one mob got so many tormented spirits on it that it would have been essentially impossible for me to kill it at this power level. The downside is now we had to find it all over again because it's a brand new layout. Oh, but this isn't Harbinger. Oh, this is a good time to get levels. Fires double projectiles and damages cold. Well, cold is the best thing we could possibly get because we do have those sapphire rings. So this is a good one to get some levels in. So we'll get to 12 so we can get Wintertide going because Wintertide is pretty significant until we get double totems. A lot less mana and similar DPS, which is just really nice. And we'll just hit some strong boxes, I guess, while we're here. Ooh, large life flask. Fantastic. Those upgrades are huge, as you can probably tell in Mayhem, just because you take so much more damage. And a lot of times they take so much less damage that you spend quite a bit of mana trying to kill them. Wow, this is a weird layout that the ship graveyard is this far away from the... Oh no, it's the same one. Oh. I was hoping resetting it would reset this. I don't even know if this is doable. I don't think it is. Yeah, we're just gonna go do. We'll get a level and then we'll think about what we want to do here. I mean, it's a skill point. I can always come back and do it later. It's not like mandatory for act progression. But we'll go ahead and get a level while this zone out here isn't so bad. I can't believe they gave me the same nightmare mod. Very unfortunate. I guess I'm... Yeah, Wintertide brand, very strong. Definitely helps with the clear. Thanks, Thirsty. How you been, man? But yeah, this is just a little on the crazy side still. Oh. Oh. We're gonna get an appropriate level mana flask. That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So now we got the stupid spirits, but on the plus side, we have much better DPS, so they're not as scary, which is a good thing. And we're like 2 notes away from being able to get multiple totems. However, because Wintertide brand is performing so well, I might not do that right away. I may kind of just keep trucking along with this setup. Let's check these boots. Those are actually pretty nice. I'll lose the link, but I think that's worth it just for the reses and the life. What do we got here? A little bit of regen. Can kind of use all the armor we can get right now. The one nice thing about Mayhem, because you are experiencing so many different league events, is that it is very common to just pick up upgrades even later on, because they can just drop really, you know, a lot more quant than normal. Not necessarily like once you get really, really good investment, but up until then, you can just find some gems on the floor, which is pretty nice. Okay, let's see what this one is, because this will also, I think, be in the boss room. Breaches, maim, and hinder. Okay, that's doable. Helps if I don't go the wrong way right off the bat, though. That typically does help things. So, probably won't do a bunch of breaches early as well, just because like Esh is just so bad, and so is Tull. Just from a status effect standpoint, that I don't think those are really worth it till later. But when we get later, they will definitely be really, really good. Because Breach is a very good way of getting a bunch of XP. It's just you want to basically, you really want Zoff early on. Just because it has the least amount of like dots and things of that nature, or like stuns. Okay, Hinder with Mervel definitely sucks. I feel like some of these were intentional. And this is one of them. I think, you know, they were like, oh, you know, it would make the Mervel fight really fun. So if you couldn't move out of the way, that would make the Mervel fight fantastic. I see you crazy sadist people. All right. Merville is done. Okay, Harvey. Like, I would really like Orbs of Binding already. I don't know if I really want to try to kill Harbies this early, though. Yeah, that's a bad idea. Okay. Gotta love his just overall attitude. It's lovely. Okay, Delirium Mirror, that's good. Less damage and Onslaught. Okay. All right, so now we're at a good little point. Strong boxes, this is another fairly good zone. What else do we got? Onslaught, increased AoE. Okay, that's reasonable. Hopefully the Chamber of Sin will be reasonable too. Where are we at? 14. Ah, we're catching up on levels. So we'll get there, we'll get there. If y'all have any questions whatsoever, feel free to ask. I know that totems aren't really being showcased yet. That will happen here in probably what I will do is transition over fully once we get Divine Ire, which is with killing Gravicius. And we kind of want to hit 16 here, just so we can use Defiance Banner when we get it. Just give us a little bit more survivability. Every little bit helps right now. But yeah, this'll be good. The other thing with Mayhem is pace yourself, because it can get frustrating. And so if you're getting really frustrated, like, just step away, do something else and come back to it. Nothing wrong with that. Unless you're trying to push ladder. If you're not trying to push ladder, then, or if you're trying to push ladder, then kind of just deal with it. But if you're not going that route, then I would highly just recommend taking your time. Once you're feeling a little burnout, you know, take a break, do something else, and then, you know, maybe come back to it. Oh, invasion bosses. Nice. That used to be so scary. They're not as scary as they once were. Some of them are still pretty bad early, but if this was just a hair later, like if this was in Act 3, I would probably try to kill them all. But I don't feel like my damage is quite there yet. And we're about to get some life nodes and some damage nodes, which will help with that. But it should make it... Ooh. Do these things take place in the lab? Because if they do... Whoa. Lab could be very hard to get. Depending on what the mods are. But Mayhem is also, like, I really wish they would always run Mayhem right before League start, because you get in the habit of skipping stuff, which is really good for, like, League start, because you don't really necessarily want to kill everything. As you're leveling, I have a bad habit of killing a lot more than I should normally, and in this, it's just because the stuff gets so crazy that I normally avoid a little more than I normally, like, I avoid a lot more than I normally would in Mayhem, especially early on. But even if they did it like the week of, you know what I mean, where like you could just like practice leveling in this, because that would be really good for testing out League starters. I would really like that. I know it wouldn't be an everybody thing, but it would be good to kind of get me back in the swing of things. Princess. That's kind of nice. The reason we're killing this particular one and like not the other ones is because I don't want to kill him, fight him and a boss at the same time. I would rather take them on one at a time. And the boss should be right down here. Yeah. Oh, most of the way to 16. Oh god. Now I'm really glad I did that, because we got, I think, 2 bosses in here. Or at least it looks like 2 bosses. Another one of him. So yeah, that'd have been brutal to have 2 of him. Plus the boss. So what we're gonna do is kind of just try to isolate as much as we can here. Because if we get these guys one-on-one, it's fine. It's all the ads and everything else that make them hard. Okay. Well, there's our 16 that we were trying to hit. Oh no. Okay, hopefully we can make this work. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, it's something somewhere. Ah. Views. So we'll go ahead and do bridge. Then we will start making our way on, well, I guess I need to get the other lab stone, and then we'll start making our way on the other side. What are our mods here? Double Fizz and Delirium. It seems not nearly as bad when it's not less damage. Alright. So, now we just need to get our other lab from the ruins. $17, alright. And we'll get a little bit of LE damage there, and a little bit of res, which will help too. Okay. Actually, guess I can try a solo Harbinger, see how it is. I don't think it's gonna be worth killing, but don't know until you do it. Yeah. If it had a couple of orbs of binding there, that would have been worth it. But that's basically all you want off of early Harbingers is orbs of binding. I mean, the other stuff is nice too, but what you really want is orbs of binding. Because then you can just get you a couple of 4 links pretty quick. And having a couple of 4 links very early is a lot of damage. And you may even get decent rolls depending on what you use it on. I recommend boots first, because you can get move speed on them and then they're good to go for a long time. Just trying to find the lab trial. Normally they're pretty quick, which this is kind of not a typical layout I'm used to anyway. There it is. Okay. Spend a second killing stuff here. Yeah. And then from here, we will go ahead and start working on the other side. Killing Oak and Alira, as I'm gonna go Divine Ire. Not most likely, that's what I'm gonna do. But let's go ahead and dump. And I'll set up like all my currency stuff and everything off stream where it's not eating up any additional time. Because I forgot, since it's like a event league, like none of your preset filters will actually be set. Invasion bosses, okay, sweet. Go Gadget Einhart. Okay, we got a couple of beasts coming up. So we want to save for this jump. And we'll go ahead and I guess deal with Oak first and then get that waypoint. And we'll come kill Alira. Oh. Okay. And the reason we're killing all with Divine Ire is because there's a lightning node that's basically better to go non-crit than crit. And we're gonna go ahead and take advantage of that, because why not? Frost Bomb's also really good for Oak because it stops his regen. I'm kind of really wishing I had that right now. Oh. Man, the mana sustain is rough. They just, what's his region specifically is what's making it hard on me. Come on. Just die, Oak. And you can't even, like, portal here, which makes it just brutal. Please tell me I'm not. Kill him. Thank goodness. Oh. That was brutal. Okay. Knowing at least had the Ironheart carry. He does a pretty substantial amount of DPS to everything, which is nice. As you can see. And hopefully we'll have, we should, oh, nice. Ironheart again. Nice. Oh, did I forget to click on him? Yes. Come. Come, Ironheart. Kill things for me. Okay, it's in here. Yeah, that one's big. Those suiciders are mighty dangerous. Okay, double damage. That's why. Okay. Makes sense. So from here, basically what we're going to do is kill Alira, go ahead and do the other two bosses in this zone. Well, one boss in this zone, one boss in the adjacent zone. And then from there, we'll most likely try to go back and do Fairgraves. And then I'm back to all caught up, and that way I won't forget about it. And hopefully that thing, that insane monster isn't still there. And you can just kind of follow the wall after you kill Alira, and you'll just come up like behind the bandits, which is honestly not a horrible place to be. And at least we have Ironheart with us for this, so it goes much, much quicker. I'm not sure exactly how Einhardt's damage scales. I'm not sure if he gets the map mods or what, but his damage is always really good in these kind of events. Like, he can kind of carry you. And then we can just follow this wall, and we're kind of looking for cobwebs. Once we see those, we know we're close to the Weaver's Chamber. And then we can knock that out, and hopefully that zone won't be too spicy, because that one does get a little bit tricky with its pathing sometimes. So you kind of hope it's... So here we know it's going to be right around here once you see the cobwebs. So here's the Weaver. And then I'm not going to treat this one like a traditional League start. Like, I will more than likely take a break at some point. Much earlier than I normally would. But I may also stream this again. Because Mayhem's kind of fun to stream. Just because it's so crazy. But I'm not, like, saying I'm stopping right now. I'm not. But maybe like Act 3-ish. Somewhere in there. So it'll probably be like before it actually gets going. Fully. Just because it is intense. And that's the thing, like, so old Path of Exile, I could have streamed like basically all day long. And it's just because it wasn't as intense and you didn't have to do so much like calculations and thinking about stuff. Especially in Mayhem. You use your brain a lot, unfortunately. And so it wears you out quite a bit faster. Now Delve, I will probably treat more like a actual League start. I enjoy, other than the first couple of nodes of Delve, because the first couple of nodes of Delve are ridiculously hard, if I remember correctly. Like the first 4 or something, and then it's like fine after that, just because the way it scales or whatever. But yeah, Delve. I also think like the thing that makes Delve cool is the uniques that you start with are interesting, and I think that helps quite a bit. Holy moly, just so much damage. Okay, finally faced her. Possessed bosses also are something else. Because I'm pretty sure it has haste. I think that's what Warlords gives, is like Onslaught or Haste or something like that. But the slows, like, are really bad. I don't know how well that translates. If it looks like I'm just stuck in place a lot, it's literally the 10 stacks of slows that are constantly on me. Jeez Louise. Gotta get better flasks. This is ridiculous. Oh, those scepters could potentially be good. Oh, there we go. Here we kind of have a choice. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get some aura nodes here. Oh, well, at least we're gonna get a DPS skill gem, which is good. Get a little faster casting going. All right. So there's that. Okay, let's go ahead and grab the effect node. And then let's go ahead and try Ship Graveyard, see how that goes. And then we'll kind of go from there. Where are you? Okay. There's the cavern. What is with the placement? It's so weird. Hey. Beyond, okay. So we just want to rush this one. I'm hitting all the dead ends here. Okay. So this should be a pretty easy fair graze just because we're quite over leveled. All right. So we'll go ahead and get this, get Flame Dash, and I guess we can go ahead and pick up Vitality. Do I not? Oh my gosh, is it because it's not set? Okay. Weird. Okay. So now we need to talk to Airmere, get the Apex, grab our 2 skill points, which will complete Sovereignty. Okay, this is a breach one, so this is another good one for XP. All right. So we're right on level. Oh, did not mean to do that. All right, first breach. We got very lucky. This is off. Oh, that's huge. All right, level 10 purity of elements already. I don't necessarily want to get any of those. I guess we'll go ahead and work down towards quick recovery. Well, good news is just grabbing that necklace fixed all of our reses but lightning, which shouldn't be too bad. We should be able to just throw in a lightning ring instead of one of the sapphire rings and be good to go. And we get a nice little Einhardt carry through here. And the biggest part about purity, even though like the elemental resists are really nice, is just getting ailment immunity early on is so wonderful. Just makes life so much smoother, especially in this kind of like a setup where you are essentially always going to be dealing with elemental immunities in every single zone, just because there's so much. Like, as you can see, we have a screen full of fire right now, right? And I'm not getting ignited, which is fantastic. So substantially less DPS that you're taking. Yeah. Oh, that's huge. A level appropriate life flask. Almost don't know what to do with myself. That's so big. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Get some nice mana stuff there too, which will be fantastic. Guess I can come check the bottom here. Yeah, it's not either. Be in that corner then. There we go. All right. So I just have to go up and around. That's fine. Oh, is each one of these a different? Well, that could be interesting. There we go. Okay, this is the same, so it's crit, multi, and strong boxes. So it looks like go down past this room and then right, and then I should be able to finagle my way over. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. Oh, never mind, that's from the previous one. Oh, worked out. Hey, there we go, Apex. Fantastic. Get our crafting recipe while that guy's spawning. Yeah, still crit multi, okay. Crit might be scary with the ads, but it should be fine for Vol. Definitely do not want to get hit by the slam, though. There we go. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here for now. I may stream a little bit later on today, but most likely I will pick it back up tomorrow. Thank you so much for everybody that stopped by. I do really appreciate it. And y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, Exiles. See you next time.